Hello, everyone. My name is Michelle. I'm from IELTS Advantage, and we have another success story today. We are talking to Waiza. Hi, Waiza.
Hi, Michelle.
How are you doing?
I'm fine, and I hope you're doing well.
I am, thanks. Can you introduce yourself to everyone, Waiza? Tell us where you're from, what you do, and also your recent IELTS scores.
My name is Waiza Hussain, and I live in Karachi, Pakistan. And I'm recently done with my IELTS score, and I have achieved a 9 band in listening and an 8.5 band in reading, and a 7 band in each writing and speaking. So yeah, that's my IELTS score. And by profession, I am an engineer, industrial and manufacturing engineer. Plus, I've also done my master's in quality management. And currently, I want to pursue a certificate program in Canada. And I have applied for project management program in Algonquin College, Canada, in their Ottawa campus.
You've certainly achieved a lot, and now you're going to Canada. So, did you need to take the IELTS test in order to get accepted to the university in Canada?
Oh, yes, it is mandatory to have an IELTS score to get your application processed there. They are not going to assess your application otherwise, so it's mandatory to have an IELTS academic if you are trying to pursue an education in Canada. Yes, it's very important.
So you got a 9 in listening, which is amazing, and an 8.5 in reading, which is also amazing. Can you tell us a little bit about how you achieved such high scores in the listening test?
As far as listening is concerned, I think in uh, listening is important. Listening to the audio that is being played is very important, but also, reading the script that's being given to you is also very important, and marking the keywords and then listening for those keywords attentively is very, very important in the listening test. So you don't only have to listen to the audio, but you also have to focus on the script that they give to you, and especially the keywords like date of birth or the addresses or the postal codes. So yes.
Had you taken the IELTS test before, or was this your first time?
Oh, it's my first attempt. I haven't given the IELTS
Oh,
before
to get
ever in
9
my
on the
life.
first attempt. That's amazing. So, was there anything you did when you were practicing? Any sort of mistakes or weaknesses that you had to improve while you wwere preparing?
Well, multiple choice questions in the listening test, they seemed really challenging to me because I was making very terrible mistakes in the MCQs. You have to basically find out your weakest area, that what questions that you are getting wrong. Either they are the MCQs or the fill in the blanks or the sentence completion or the summary completion. You have to recognize your weaknesses, and then you work on those weaknesses, and only then you will be able to achieve these scores. So yeah, MCQs were my weakest area, so I really focused on those, and I improved on my skills, especially in the MCQs questions. So that's how I improved.
A lot of students struggle with the multiple choice questions in the listening
Yes, I
test.
believe that. Yeah,
So,
they
what advice do you have for other students who are finding these kinds of questions difficult?
Well, in case of MCQs, I think mostly they give you three options. And for those three options, it's really tricky in case of MCQs because they mostly repeat all of those three, uh, options. So it's really confusing for the students. But you have to listen to them very carefully and mark the keywords in each of the answers or the options that they give to you. You have to mark the keywords, and you have to listen carefully whatever they are saying, because they are going to repeat those options, and they try to trick you. But your job is to uh, choose the best option. So it's very important.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right. That's what's hard about it, isn't it? Because you hear those words and it makes me want to choose that option as the answer. So what did you do to improve? Did you work on like your general listening skills, or was it vocabulary or something else?
I think marking the keywords in those options and then listening carefully. They give you like if you are done with section two, they give you certain time for checking your answers. So what I did in my IELTS exam, that I utilized that time to read the MCQs questions instead of rechecking my answers in the previous section. So I really utilize my time in uh, reading the MCQs questions or the next part of the questions. So you have to be smart in utilizing your time in the test as well. Otherwise, you are not going to achieve these scores. So that's what I did
So
during the test.
you learned a couple strategies that helped you.
Yes,
Got
yes,
it.
yes.
And how
I
about
utilize that time that they usually give you 1 minute to recheck your answers. So I utilize that 1 minute in reading the questions that are being given in the next section instead of, dwelling on the previous section. So I did not do that.
that?
You have to move forward, especially in listening and reading. Just move forward, move forward. Don't dwell on the, previous section, especially in listening. Yeah.
Let's move on to talk
Because
about reading, because you got an 8.5 in reading.
hmm.
What did you find difficult when you were preparing for the reading part of the test?
Well, the time limit, the 1 hour that they give you. So it was really hard for me to, initially, it was really hard for me to complete all the 40 questions in the time slot of 1 hour. It was really hard. But, and also you have to fill the sheet. I've given the paper based exam. So you have to fill the sheet simultaneously, and you are not given extra time to fill the sheet afterwards. So you have to mark the correct answers, and you have to fill the sheet simultaneously during that 1 hour. So what I did that when I was done with section one of the reading test, so I immediately, quickly filled the answer sheet. And when I was done with my second section, I immediately, fill the answer sheet. So the time is very important. You have to manage your time well in the reading section. Otherwise, you are not going to complete the reading section or the reading module in the 1 hour, in the 1 hour time slot. So
So
timing is
when
important.
you were preparing, did you learn some strategies that would help you answer the questions? Did you do practice tests and analyze your mistakes, or what did you do to increase your score?
Well, for reading, I think you have to focus on the questions. First of all, when they give you the reading test, yeah, you have to look for the questions first and focus on the questions and mark the keywords. And then you have to move towards the paragraph or the passages that are being given to you. And then you, skim and scan. You don't have to read it in detail. If you are going to read the passages in detail, then you are never going to complete the reading test in 1 hour. So skimming and scanning for the keywords like the names or the dates or something very specific that they are giving you in the questions. You just skim and you just scan for that information in the passage, those names or those dates or those, at times they give you names of those countries or otherwise something else. So it's very important to scan for that information in the passage. And once you get to that particular information, then you start reading carefully. That's what I did: skimming and scanning.
And then reading carefully. So
And then reading carefully. Once you have found the correct part, then it's very important to read that part carefully and then fill the answers.
did you have to improve your vocabulary in order to increase your score in the reading test?
Oh, yeah, because I think if you're giving the academic module, it's very important to have a good vocabulary. But I've been preparing for GRE for a while now, and I have given my GRE in September 2020. So my vocabulary was good enough for this test. So I didn't have to work that hard on my vocabulary because I had been preparing for GRE. But I think preparing for having a good vocabulary helps you a lot in the reading section. Words like predilection and some uncommon words which we don't use in our day-to-day lives. So you are going to find those words in the reading passages. So it's very important to have a good vocabulary.
Yeah, and like Chris says, the reading test is also kind of like a vocabulary test. And it sounds
Yes.
like from your background, you did have a really good vocabulary,
Yeah.
particularly with these sort of academic texts
Mm.
because of all your studying. So that sounds like it helped you out. The good
Yeah.
vocabulary together with applying the correct strategies to
Mm.
to the
Yeah. You have to have some strategies. You have to follow some strategies during the test. It's very important.
What advice would you have for students who are just beginning their IELTS preparation?
The number one advice that I want to give to the students is always practice from the official material. I practice from the Cambridge test books, IELTS 15, 14, 13, 12. They are the official books. So always practice from the official material. Don't practice from the unofficial material that's available on several websites. So those books are pretty enough for your preparation. If you are practicing from those books, you are good to go, either in the academic module or in the general module. That's what I did as well. And next, you have to have a study plan. It's very important to have a study plan, and you have to be dedicated to that study plan. And you have to be serious about it because it's a costly test. Uh, so, yes.
Yes, it is. It's not cheap, that's for sure.
Yes.
Were there any teachers in particular that gave you any feedback throughout your preparation time at IELTS Advantage that you enjoyed or appreciated or that just sort of resonated with you?
The writing modules in the IELTS Advantage, they are really exceptional, I think, and they are really detailed. And if you are purchasing the writing modules for your IELTS test, they are pretty enough and they are pretty good for your preparation. And especially the marking criteria, it's really nice. And uh, the way I only had three, I think, essays that I sent to you guys, and you marked that really well. And that's how I was able to recognize my weak areas like tenses and other other several areas. So yeah,
That's great.
writing writing module was very nice. Yeah.
So after only 3 essay corrections, you were able to get a 7
Yes,
in the
yes, yes,
writing.
yes.
Fantastic. So, Waiza, what is next for you? You're going to hopefully study in Canada.
In Canada. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And after that, any plans?
I believe I want to work as a professional in Canada, and then let's see what happens.
Yeah.
So yes.
Indeed. Well, from all of us here at IELTS Advantage, we're really pleased that you were able to get the scores that you need. And I hope your application to the university in Canada is successful. It's a beautiful country, and I'm sure you will love it there.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Right.
I'm looking forward to my stay in Canada. I'm looking forward to it. I've applied for fall term this year, September intake.
Okay. Nice, fantastic. Well, Waiza, thank you so much for sharing your story with everybody and for your advice today.
Hey, Chris here again. Hopefully you enjoyed that success story video. That student was part of our IELTS VIP course. And on that course, we show students exactly where they're going wrong and exactly what to do to get the score that they need. And we give them all the help and support that they need in order to get a 7, 8, or even 9 in their IELTS test. Now, we only work with a really small number of students. Because of the level of help and feedback and support that we give students, we can only work with a very small number of them. But We also have more success stories than any other online or offline course in the world, which has created a huge amount of demand for our course. So we're the only course in the world, I believe, that has a very long waiting list. If you want to join that waiting list, all you have to do is just click here and you'll be able to add your name, add your email address, and then when one of our students becomes successful and leaves the course, the next position can be for you. Hopefully see you in there. Bye-bye.